registration, log on to thebuzzcincy.com.
Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town with PG Sittenfeld. Delighted to have you be part of the conversation today. And we are talking about many things involving the presidential debate, and there's certainly many feelings people can have about the president. But I will say this, there is no disputing the fact that he has the coolest supporters and the coolest surrogates of any candidate, I'm going to say, in the history of the world. And that is certainly true for our next guest, Kimora Simmons, who is a businesswoman, a model, a fashion designer, a TV personality. Kimora, welcome to Talk of the Town.
Good morning. Oh, you're Talk of the Town. Hi. I saw you on my Twitter this morning, Talk of the Town.
There you go. Well, I'm actually very impressed because, Kimora, I also noticed you have about 1.5 million followers on Twitter, so glad that one...
Well, those are organic followers, which I'm very, impressed with. All of my fans and followers, those are real people, like not computers. They're not on my credit card. I didn't sign them up. So that's just a genuine dialogue with me and my supporters and fans. I think that's a big deal.
You are big time, and we really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show. Let me ask you, we know you're in Ohio today in support of the president. What is it that caused you to be such a big believer in President Obama?
I mean, me, for one, I feel like I try to keep my finger on the pulse of community and society, and certainly representing one of the biggest industries that we have, which is fashion, the fashion industry. I really want to encourage young people and my young followers and everyone to understand the importance of really getting their voice out there and being heard. And for me, it's very important because I feel like he works for me, he works for us, he works for the community. He works for all of us as a whole.
And he hasn't forgotten where he came from.
Which is very similar to Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget all of those people as a part of my whole. I don't want to exclude people in my family that, hardworking people. He is speaking to that community altogether, to all of us.
Now, our previous caller was talking about, it's so hard to put ourselves in the shoes of what it is to be the President of the United States. But one thing that does come through, this man still so clearly takes seriously his role as a husband, his role as a father. I mean, he has stayed so grounded through so much, which I think is very impressive. Let me ask you this. So, like the president, you have a mixed ethnic background. And I think a lot of people, maybe in our most hopeful moments, there was talk that Barack Obama was going to usher us into a post-racial world. What's your sense of where we really are in this country today, and what do you think the impact is of race on our politics in 2012?
I feel like probably it plays heavily in places that it shouldn't, and I feel like at times the areas in which we've progressed are not spoken to loudly enough. But obviously, as you said, being of mixed race background, so there, Black and Asian and several other mixed things in there, like the president, but more importantly, like so many of this whole group, so many of our community that we're speaking about these days, we are moving towards a mixed racial, culturally mixed society. And so I think it's important to address those views and address the changing landscape and the cultural landscape of our community, of our country as a whole. And we do that in fashion, right? We embrace everybody. Like when I walk down the street, people say, when you walk down the street, you're representing a large group of people, whether that's Asian, Black, Hispanic, mixed, whatever that is, we're marching with you. So when you look out there, I think a lot of us look this way nowadays.
Well, and
right? More often than not. So it's important that we speak to that and understand that we are progressively moving forward in that area. And I love to see that because, again, we've taken big strides in that area. It wasn't always that way.
Well, and I do think even when we sort of still confront backwards attitudes that you would say, God, how can a person still think like that where we are now? I do think just the president being who he is, being from the background that he is, that symbolism is so important in terms of getting people used to. The world doesn't look like it used to look. We can have people who, no matter where they came from or what their story is, they can be the president of the United States. So I do think, just getting people used to what the future is going to look like is a healthy thing. I also wanted to ask you, you've been open that earlier in your life, you sort of endured a fair amount of bullying. And this is a topic that's been very much in the news, I think, in recent months and recent weeks. Do you think the tone and the sort of methods that are used in politics, when people see our elected national leaders often sort of engage in bullying themselves, do you think that message can trickle down to our young people?
Absolutely. I think it trickles down, and I think it trickles up. And sometimes when I look at politics, it feels very similar to that young girl that I was, that 12-year-old girl on the playground, and it was certainly a conversation then about tolerance and about people not being tolerant. So I see that all the time, not just in politics, but in everyday life, in my family, in my community, in our schools. Like you said, this is becoming the face of the future, and it does look a little bit like it used to,
right.
But now it's integrated. It's more, spread about. So it's to say what we're evolving into, and I definitely feel like there's bullying going on every day, and we want to fight that. I want to fight that as a mother. I want to fight that as a businesswoman, as an active member of my community. It goes on all day.
We
for
are
our young kids, for our president, for other, for everyone.
Absolutely. We're delighted to be talking with Kimora Lee Simmons, who is a businesswoman, a fashion model, a fashion designer, TV personality. She does it all. I want to kick it to my co-pilot, Tamaya, for another question.
I just wanted to know, I think PG alluded to it earlier, that President Obama has the coolest supporters and the coolest surrogates. Are you oftentimes amused or offended by the assertion that celebrities are not real people who care about politics?
No, I'm amused. I try to never, ever get offended. What do I look like being offended? Who said that? Why would I care? Whoever is saying that, look at them and look at why would I care?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And I don't consider myself a celebrity, even though I believe I am. I get it. But I am a businesswoman. I am a designer. I've been in this business of fashion all my life since I was 10 years old. I worked very hard for what I have and to get where I've gotten in a country like this, where I was able to do that and beat the odds like so many other people.
Absolutely.
I feel that whatever I have done validates me, and I have become a celebrity because of the work I have done. I would like to think that, as opposed to being a celebrity because you have, other things,
Exactly.
other
Kimora,
scandals or other whatever that makes you a celebrity. So I do think that's a little bit of a difference, but otherwise, no, I'm not offended. I think it's about every voice, everybody coming together. And I'm here now because when I walk out in the streets, people are like, oh, Kimora's here, fabulous, and he's in town. And that's what I want these young people to know. You are beautiful. You are fabulous. We need to hear your voice. I hear it all the time. I just want to make sure that these kids are registered and they're voting. And it's Golden Week, so we need it now. Now you can register and vote all at once here in Ohio until Tuesday. It's no better time.
I do think Tamaya is so right. It always sort of cracks me up when you'll hear Republicans say, this or that candidate, they're going to raise money in Hollywood, as though celebrities, can't be real people that really care about these issues and want to be engaged too. So, Kimora, when I told folks you were going to be coming on the show, so many people said she is such a great role model for me, for my daughter, for my sister, for men too, of course. So I guess the question I have to ask you now, when are we going to see the name Kimora Lee Simmons on the ballot somewhere?
Oh no, the closest that you're ever going to see it is right now. This is my duty, and this is what I'm doing. I'm probably way too loud and uncensored.
We like that. We like that.
To get really into politics.
Oh, hey, don't do
this
us.
This is it right here.
Do us a favor.
Me too, like, Kimora, now don't go and say the wrong thing to the kids. I'll say anything. I think this is as close. This is as close as I'll get.
Well, hey, keep being loud and opinionated and proud. We love it. One final question. We really appreciate your time today. So I know you're originally from St. Louis. I got to ask, as our Cincinnati Reds endeavor into the playoffs tonight, are you a Cardinals fan? Be very careful how you answer.
Well, I am from St. Louis, and just the other day I threw out the first pitch at the final or one of the final Dodger games.
Yeah.
So, because I do live in L.A., and now I'm here in Ohio.
And you are welcome to stay as long as you want.
I love them all, and I wish everyone the best of luck. I'm a big fan.
That's a good political
answer. I was going to say,
not a politician.
I love the competitive nature, but I don't want to get beat up. But I am from St. Louis. But I wish everyone the best. May the best man or group of men win.
We do not begrudge you having hometown pride. Well, Kimora Lee Simmons, thank you so much for joining us on Talk of the Town, and keep barn burning the stump and being a great surrogate on behalf of the president. I know he appreciates it.
Thank you.
And
thank you for talking to me this morning.
You
Make
got
sure
it.
they know my Twitter is official Kimora, and to register and get all your voting information is vote.barackobama.com.
We will keep following you, and have a great day. Thanks so much,
Thank you.
Kimora Lee Simmons, and what a pleasure. I'm ready to nominate her for the United States